Good afternoon, and yet again we've beaten the weather. Generally though, football hasn't been so lucky, with only 8 league games played yesterday, which meant the pools panel sat for the 5th week in succession. We've 2 games for you and some rather unfamiliar scenes brought about by the weather. And what a welcome here for the Birmingham City goalkeeper Tony Coton. A bombardment of snowballs from Nottingham Forest fans as he ran out for the start of the second half. And at Oldham, black tape round the goalposts at one end to make them stand out from the snowbound terraces, where for safety reasons there were no supporters. But of course the situation is very serious. Graham Kelly, the league secretary, has already said that an extension to the season looks inevitable. Anyway, let's start at Boundary Park, where the undersoil heating system has prevented any postponements during this awful spell of weather. Yesterday it was Oldham in second place in Division 2 against Watford, who were lying third.
Jimmy Frizzell is still without his top scorer, Roger Wilde, who's suspended, and he thought long and hard about giving Martin Nuttall a full game, but finally named the 20-year-old striker as substitute. One change, though, is Steve Edwards at right back for Gary Hoolican, who damaged an ankle in the cup defeat at Gillingham on Tuesday. Graham Taylor names the same Watford side that overcame Manchester United. Pat Rice has recovered from the thigh trouble that caused him to be substituted last Saturday. 3 teenagers coming of age this season. Centre-half Steve Terry, who's 19. So too is right-winger Nigel Callaghan. The referee is John Key from Rotherham, who had no worries passing the pitch fit. It's very flat and soft under a sprinkling covering of snow. But the lines are marked in blue, and it's the blue shirts too of Oldham Athletic who kick off, and they attack the goal to the right in the first half. The Rochdale Road terracing behind Peter McDonald's goal has been passed as unsafe, and no spectators there. The header from Steve Terry. Oldham, whose form has stuttered recently. Such disappointment for them going out of the cup at Gillingham. In stark contrast to the achievements of Watford in putting out Manchester United last Saturday. The first free kick goes to Oldham. Paul Futcher to take it. And it came in the end of Edwards from Heaton's flick. Taylor. The overhead flick from Jenkins, and it almost dropped for Blissett. And Taylor. It was Atkinson who got in the way of the shot. Callaghan. Now Rice. And Blissett. Well, that was a chance. Luther Blissett, who's going through something of a phase in front of goal, where the chances are coming his way and he's not being able to tuck them away. It was a driven cross and he got too much meat on the header, really. This is McDonough. He didn't disguise his intentions, just sliced the shot a little. Throw is given to Watford. They're a side who like to use the ball quickly. And they're quite prepared to play it into space behind the opposing defence and get them turning. That's how they unsettle Manchester United. It's Oldham going forward here with Atkinson. This is Heaton. Just saw a crack of daylight, looking for the gap inside the far post, but it flew wide. Palmer. And a corner given from the burst by Atkinson. Atkinson will take it. Clements right in on the line. Heaton! And eventually scrambled away by Terry after the goalkeeper had blocked it on the line. Oldham almost making the corner pay. Clements coming off the line to make contact. Heaton diving in, Sherwood blocking with his knees. And then Terry to safety. And an Oldham player needing treatment. It is Paul Heaton, who went in bravely, getting the sponge from the trainer, Steve Wanless. Heaton quickly back into the action, finding McDonough. McDonough again. Palmer, Heaton, snatched at it. And applauds the part played by Roger Palmer with that back heel. Created an opening that was wasted by Heaton. Palmer pressuring Rice. Blissett winning the throw off John Ryan. Callahan. Stopped fairly by Ryan. Palmer keeping it in. Terry getting there before Steele. And the ricochets come for Steele. And Pritchett is able to act as the covering player. And Steele slid in on the goalkeeper, having set off in pursuit, with Ian Bolton there as well for Watford. Steele feeling, I'm sure, that he had to go for the ball. This is Edwards, who saw Steele making the run and found him. Palmer lurking on the near post. This is Clements and McDonough registers his disappointment that he couldn't keep it down a foot or two after Clements had claimed possession, and then it ran for McDonough. Terry. Picture there ahead of Blissett. Steele knew where McDonough was. Steele battling on. This is Heaton. Palmer. Might come for McDonough. Atkinson. And it's a corner. Though even Oldham seemed surprised. Atkinson's shot must have struck someone in the eyes of the referee, a Watford defender. Palmer was unmarked. And we'll feel maybe that he should have hit the target. Roger Palmer. McDonough is onside. Steele checking out to the far post, and McDonough saw a gap for himself. And there was nothing lacking in the power of his shot. Watford caught ball watching. So the end of an entertaining and boisterous first half, which has produced everything really except goals. But at half-time, it's Oldham 0, Watford 0. Watford starting the second half with, as Graham Taylor says, the wind in their favour. And here's Blissett, almost squeezing it in at the near post as McDonnell was expecting it to be cut back. And a positive start from the visiting side, whose priority this season has been made quite clear by their manager, that it is promotion, as opposed to the ones in the FA Cup and the League Cup, which they're still in, of course. Butcher getting it out, and offside adjudged against Steve Terry as Ian Bolton planted it back in. Taylor. Blissett again, the winning chaser, and shows good strength on the ball. The battling of Luther Blissett pays off again. Had a spell in midfield last season. I think Watford, they feel he's a better player now back up front for that experience. McDonnell in trouble, but was fouled. Unsettled initially by the presence of Jenkins, who comes off the near post. Ryan's mistake, chip back by Callaghan, and a foot away from responding in an improvised way to a bad mistake by Ryan. Callaghan went to chip it in, and just too high. Keegan on it well for his side, finding Heaton. Palmer, still Roger Palmer, and Bolton to the rescue for Watford. Donna took too long, but it broke for Edwards. Bolton's header, and McDonough was beaten by the bounce. Barnes leading the break forward, and Nigel Callaghan directing his comments at John Barnes. And it's Jan Lohman, the hero of last week, who goes off to be replaced by Jerry Armstrong. And the switch you could see there with Blissett pushing wide on the left now for Watford, Armstrong taking a central role. Palmer! Just didn't quite have the room for the full backlift to get power into it. Keegan. Terry and Bolton have defended well in the centre of the Watford back four. Certainly have taken less risks than Paul Futcher. This is Blissett on the burst. And McDonnell fisted it out. Seemed to change his mind as to whether to catch it, and then clenched the fist and knocked it away from the incoming Watford players from Blissett's shot. Callaghan. And Blissett! Well, Callahan had the first effort, and it deflected to where Blissett and Armstrong, in fact, who had the shot that came down off the underside of the bar, and Armstrong followed in to try and convert the rebound. Driven forward by Clements. On from Keegan. Now Palmer. Thought about hitting it first time and placed it in! Minutes into the second half, when Watford might have felt they were gaining the ascendancy. Roger Palmer hasn't scored in the league since September, but it was one worth waiting for. Armstrong with his strength and aggression, looking for Jenkins, and it rolls in for the equaliser from Ross Jenkins. Watford were behind for only 5 minutes. The substitution paying off in the sense of the aggression of Armstrong and the touch enough from Jenkins to roll it past McDonnell and in off the post. It's Ross Jenkins' 7th goal of the season, which makes him Watford's top scorer. This is Atkinson. Dragged it wide. Paul Atkinson isn't a prolific scorer, but oddly he's scored in the last 2 of these fixtures here between the two sides. Callahan. This is Blissett. Past Edwards. Taylor, and McDonnell, fine save. Didn't know too much about it. Good reflexes, struck well from Les Taylor. Blissett probing away, past Edwards, cutting it back. Taylor first time. Good save. Back from Pritchett. And McDonnell again down quickly, this time to thwart Blissett. He got away beyond the far post, and as it dropped, struck it cleanly. The goalkeeper blocked it. Taylor's corner and a teasing one. No foul that time. McDonnell lucky to survive, with Armstrong jumping alongside him. Finally, a spell of Watford pressure ends with an offside decision. Pritchett driving it forward. Clements, a good covering header. Steele. Trying to cushion it, but dropped straight for Pritchett. Well, certainly no thoughts from Watford, it seems, of settling just for the 1 point. Having come from behind, the impetus is with them. For 2 saves within a minute by McDonnell, they could be ahead. Atkinson. Blissett. Good tackle from Futcher. Stretched forward by McDonough. No foul. Palmer, the Oldham player. Keegan. Steele giving chase. Has he got the strength to hold off Terry? Keegan's ball was an intelligent one, giving Steele some hope. Terry stuck with him, did enough to restrict the shot to one that passed off target. Heaton. Keegan couldn't collect. Still has the energy to battle for possession and is fouled by Taylor. Maybe one last throw here from Oldham. Into injury time. This time Futcher rather than Clements has come forward to join the likes of Palmer and Steele. Ryan will take the kick. And it's Steele, whose header ends in disappointment for Oldham. Tim Steele, who in the last minute of the FA Cup tie at Gillingham hit the post with a chance, which would have given Oldham a replay. And in the last minute here, it's his header that offered Oldham a chance of a winner. And indeed, the last act of an absorbing game, which in many ways has been a credit to the top of the second division. Roger Palmer's goal 20 minutes into the second half, giving Oldham the lead, a lead they held for only 5 minutes until Ross Jenkins popped up with the equaliser. So a final score here at Boundary Park. It's Oldham 1, Watford 1.
Dennis, what did you think?
Well, I was particularly impressed with the performances of the two 19-year-olds who made quite an impact despite their inexperience. The first was Watford's Steve Terry, powerful in the tackle and dominant in the air. He made life so difficult for the Oldham forwards. But the home side's Darren McDonough was my man of the match. The midfielder looks a fine athlete, and this surging run down the right was typical of his determination and aggression, fine qualities to see in a youngster. He's certainly not short of confidence and showed some nice touches on the ball apart from his strong running. He was unlucky there not to see his effort rewarded. And on 2 other occasions, McDonough also proved his ability to find good shooting positions inside the box.
This is Clements and McDonough. McDonough is onside, Steele checking out to the far post, and McDonough saw a gap for himself.
I did have a lot of admiration for the manner in which Roger Palmer kept plugging away, despite the fact that his finishing wasn't all that it might have been. He was a little bit tame in the first half when a couple of good chances went begging.
Palmer was unmarked. Edwards, Heaton, Palmer. Well, it wasn't as easy as it might have looked.
Well, Palmer didn't let his head drop, which is a lesson to all strikers. And in the second half, his persistence eventually paid off with this superbly taken goal.
On from Keegan, now Palmer. Thought about hitting it first time and placed it in!
Time for more action and 2 very well taken goals from the 4th Division game between Bradford City and Hull. The score there was 1-1.
Marwood working his cross well. Oh, and a good one too. DC. Oh, beautiful little back flick, and that is a superb goal. A super goal by Gareth Roberts. Barry Gallagher at the corner, short. Away as far as Watson, back for Gallagher. They just clip it into the middle. Campbell's there, trying to knock it through. Here's Shaw, standing forth, yes!
And a point for Bradford, who moved to the top of the 4th Division. Well, coming up next, one of the two games played in the First Division yesterday, the Midlands derby between Nottingham Forest and Birmingham City, who produced one of the best games you might remember seen in the First Division this season when they met at St Andrews 4 months ago. Well, slightly different conditions at the City ground, where the cameras came from Central Television and the commentator Hugh Johns.
Referee Alan Banks of Manchester. He gets us away on a very frosty-looking pitch. Still quite a bit of snow on it. And the players, some wearing a very, very short leather stud, others wearing a short-ish aluminium stud. And at least we have the advantage of a brilliant orange-coloured ball. It's Worthington knocking the ball off, and it was Broadhurst slipping. And I have the strong suspicion these players are going to be sliding all over the place. Certainly the middle of the pitch is very, very frozen. That's Proctor. Here's Anderson. Wallace getting a touch. Archie Gamble is there. And that's knocked out for Van Mierlo. Gunn coming back at him. The ball taken away, in fact, by Willie Young from Shilton, which in fact was the sensible thing to do. The clearance out picks up Proctor. And Proctor making good pace down that right side. And now Ward. Ward, whose position was a bit doubtful today. The return ball from Robertson. Good crowd here this afternoon, all thanks to the plastic cover that gets this game into action. And Brocken feeds that down the line. It hit Gray on its way out. Brocken nicely fed into Worthington. Good ball on to Dillon. Birmingham City moving forward well. That ball for Watmore. The turn back, pass back was a shocker. Fed straight to the feet of Watmore, and Shilton saves Forrest. What a beautiful ball from Worthington that fed Dillon in. But look at this pass back now by Willie Young. Right, in fact, to Watmore. And Shilton saves Forrest. No doubt about that. Too many Forest men around Dillon then. Brocken trying to get a touch against Colin Walsh, but he strides away, chased by Broadhurst. And Vanden Hoor stops him, but unfairly the challenge of Broadhurst, apparently. Referee calls it back for the foul on Walsh. Free kick taken. It's off to Proctor now. And it still could come. Wallace! Well done, Cotton. Although he should not have been given any chance then. That was a fairly clear-cut opening, contrived by Ian Wallace. All started with the running of Proctor. And I think Wallace had a strong chance to bury that ball. Anderson, well-judged header, so was that from Gamble. The ball played on to McGovern, and it breaks for Wallace. And he hits the post. That would have been cruel. That really would have been cruel, because a perfectly good clearance then broke down for Wallace. An unexpected bonus, and then the post rescues Birmingham City. Now Wallace taking on Vanden Hoor. Ball played in for Ward. Todd was there. It can be played in again. Wallace to McGovern, to Proctor. And Mierlo positions himself well. So the corner then for Proctor to take. High hanging ball that Young goes up for. Well taken, Cotton, because Wallace rushing across as Young knocked that ball goalwards. Must have confused Cotton for a moment or two. Willie Young meeting it firmly and looked for Wallace to go across the goalkeeper. He never took his eyes off the ball, though. It was Broadhurst across to Langan. Dillon has moved forward. The ball is to Brocken. The chipped ball in will be read by McGovern. Knocks it down badly, though. Van Mierlo. It was Proctor getting him out of trouble. Van Mierlo feeding Broadhurst. And now Dillon. Langan. The curl pass. Young gets it out. It'll drop down for Dillon. Toe poke pass forward. Young, Dillon. He's in for a shot. Wasn't strong enough to test Chilton, but he dropped it. Stopped it and dropped it. Pressure still on by Birmingham City. Worthington. And the ground removed by Brocken's legs just as he went in. Well, we're in the time added on, which is practically next to it. A couple of seconds, that's all. Tony Cotton, the Birmingham City goalkeeper, if he has to play this second half being bombarded with snowballs from the Forest fans behind that goal. Referee Banks had a word with Archie Gemmell, I think, to say that he's going to keep an eye on that situation. As we're away in the second half then. Birmingham City must feel that they were in with a shout of ending a 23-match run since they last won away in the First Division. Way back at Middlesbrough, November 1980. The Forest are going forward here. And Todd just lets the ball run over the line. Worthington drops for Proctor. There's Ward. A lot of red-shirted Forest men up there, and one of them's Wallace. And Wallace just not having the luck. But there is the total conviction there in his approach. Ball nicely fed by Ward to Wallace. Plenty of time to set himself, and look how wide he was with the shot. Errors being committed by both sides now. Broadhurst, cut out by Proctor. Anderson, for Proctor again. Watch coming inside. Govan. By Van der Horn, that was important. Worthington, the only man forward for Birmingham City at that moment. Anderson, the ball into McGovern. Could break for Ward, it looks good. Yes, 1-0 Forest. Peter Ward. Only his second goal of the season. And he took that as cool as any of the feet of those spectators out there this afternoon. 16 minutes into the second half. Finally, that Birmingham City defence cracked the constant pressure. McGovern it is, feeds that ball through. And Ward sees the goalposts, decides to clip it in off that one. And it's 1-0 Nottingham Forest. So Peter Ward scoring his second goal of the season, only his fourth in the First Division for Nottingham Forest. But a vital one for all that here this afternoon. Anderson will maybe saying farewell to the side for a short spell fairly soon after 6 bookings this season. Wallace changed his mind 3 times there. His 4th decision was a bad one too. It's Dillon forward, Van Mierlo. Young punching that in the midfield, where Anderson is prepared to drive Forest forward. Proctor. Robertson. Proctor. Got a second bite at that. Anderson, good ball on again to Proctor. That's a fine cross in. And a fine goal. Yes, Wallace. 2-0. And that Birmingham City defence really cracked wide open then. But a lot of good work, starting off with that Robertson control in midfield. Anderson, the ball fed forward then to Proctor. Low ball in, everybody's beaten there. And Wallace, the easiest chance in the world to stab it in from point-blank range. 2-0 then, Nottingham Forest. And you can't see Birmingham City coming back from that, with Wallace providing that killer goal there. Worthington turning that down, and Proctor was there. Langan up. And drops to Ward. To Wallace. Short for Ward again. And a good blistering move then by Broadhurst. Worthington. Touch to Broadhurst. Pass got him in trouble. Robertson strolls and rolls a pass to Walsh, and then goes down the left wing himself, but Walsh is going in towards goal. Trying a 1-2, and 1.5 was Colin Todd. Langan going past him on the outside. There's Gray out to the touchline. Now the cross in from Todd. Headed in that direction. That's Brocken on to Worthington. Oh, lovely goal. Yes. And Shook absolutely livid with his defence over that one. He is as angry as Frank Worthington is delighted. Beautiful goal from Frank Worthington. Todd knocks it in, and it's deflected on them. That first time ball on by Brocken, and look at that for a volley. Pick that one out, he says to Peter Shook. 28 minutes. And Birmingham City closing the gap. And they're still in this game at 2-1 now. Frank Worthington with his 7th goal of the season. And Anderson spurring Forest forward now. That's a goal kick. Last struck Anderson for the second time before it went over, but in fact a corner is given. Anderson for Proctor, sold him into trouble. Dillon coming out. Dillon keeps going. Checks into Worthington. Feeds it off to Van Mierlo. Stretched in and well read by Gunn. That could drop down to Broadhurst though. Gemmell. Pressure coming from Ward. It's over to Langan. Todd. Langan. Brocken now wide on the right side of the park. It's Young who got in the way. Todd. Now this has put new heart into Birmingham City. Broadhurst picks up Dillon. Worthington. 1-2 didn't quite work. Gunn. Long one out. Vanden Hall, nicely weighted header down for Archie Gemmell. Worthington flicks it on, and Gemmell goes on running, and the ball knocked in. Gray was there. But this now an encouraging period for Birmingham City. Here's Van Mierlo. Worthington. That's Dillon. Here's Gemmell. Archie Gemmell claiming a foul. His old teammate, John Robertson. Archie Gemmell, a man who had a great deal to do with the upsurge of Robertson's talent here at the Forest ground. Fighting hard for it. It's Van Mierlo down to Vanden Hall. McGovern with a touch, the ball drops for Van Mierlo. Happier attacking from this side of the park, and Van Meulen might get there again, and does, and he's just wide of the left-hand post. That's Shilton's left-hand post. In fact, somebody got a touch. I don't think it was Shilton. What a good break that was by Van Meulen. Young wasn't able to get in. Young's after it, but Van Meulen will get there first. And it's just wide of the post. Ward. Off to Walsh. That looks useful, looking in for Young. Comes on to Proctor. Oh, what a wild one. But the man who might have scratched a goal out of that was Big Willie Young. He comes awfully close. Now comes to Proctor, and he snatches his shot and misses. And a big cheer then for Ian Bowyer. Back almost a year to the day, the time he left this club to go to Sunderland. £235,000 profit they made on his transfer. $275 to Sunderland, $45 to get him back. And Ian Bowyer has 5 minutes of activity here. I suspect that he's been brought on for his ability to rally and steady a side. It has been looking just a little bit groggy in this last 15-20 minutes. Todd. Time for Birmingham City. Worthington. Dillon. Big long one for Van Meulen. He's all right. And what was too. Stopped, in fact, then by Proctor. Here's Worthington. Well stopped by Anderson. But Forrester being stretched from time to time. Oh, that's a good ball through. And Wallace is up on the run against Todd. He's on his own. Well, Ian Wallace snatched at that. It would be a shame to show that one again. I think Wallace is upset enough by the first view of it. Fiercely won back by Birmingham City. That ball's still there for Gray. Could be there for Wallace. One for Ward. And a shot on here for Proctor. Knocked out only just by Cotton. Archie Gamble well positioned to help his goalkeeper out. Ward rolling this ball off to Proctor. And he had a really good sight of the goal. Cotton saves, and you see how close Gamble was to help out. Vandenhall. Dillon, the dummy, on for Van Meulen. Can he cross it in? Watmore trying to get there. And the ball drops out to Wallace. And the final whistle has gone. Nottingham Forest have wrapped it up here at the City Ground. 2-1.
Nottingham Forest now in 6th position and 3 points ahead of Spurs and Everton, who are both a couple of points better off than Liverpool. Manchester City's draw with Stoke not good enough to take them above Ipswich. Well, with that, we say good afternoon by seeing again the goalkeeper who was hit from all angles yesterday, Birmingham's Tony Coton. It wasn't his day. Goodbye.
Anderson, the ball into McGovern. Could break for Ward. It looks good. Yes, 1-0 Forest. Peter Ward. Proctor. Got a second bite at that. Anderson, good ball on again to Proctor. That's a fine cross in. And a fine goal.